Hi everybody, it is Julie. Welcome back to Pages and Pens. Today I am here with my February wrap-up. Let's jump right into it. Today is February 10th. I've officially just started ContemporaryAthon, which is why I'm up on a tripod. And I want to go over a couple of the books that I've already finished prior to ContemporaryAthon, because I did finish some. I have them right here, and they're all fantasy / sci-fi, because I wanted to get them in before ContemporaryAthon. So let's jump into those right now. I listened to Grim Lovelies by Megan Shepherd, which is a Parisian story about witches who can turn animals into humans, but then if that witch dies, the animals turn back, or the humans turn back into animals. In this particular story, a witch has died, and the people are going to be turned back into animals. They don't want to be animals. They've gotten used to living life as humans. There's different castes of magic users. There's trolls. There's a whole world, guys. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. And I know that this is a series. This is a beautiful LitJoy crate, signed exclusive edition with artwork inside. It was a very interesting story. It was kind of cool. It wasn't amazing. Very quick audiobook listen, but I don't know that this is one that I need to keep. It is signed. It does have exclusive artwork and everything inside of it. I might save this for a giveaway, but I don't think I'm going to keep it on my shelves, just because I am trying to narrow down my shelves, and that's not one that I loved. I also have Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young. This one I listened to, and I actually did enjoy it. I think I gave Grim Lovelies 3 stars. I think I also gave Sky in the Deep 3 stars. I did love the hate to love angsty relationship in this, and it does cover a lot of really cool concepts about generational wars, etc. Has badass female warrior characters, which I can appreciate, and strong women, which I can appreciate. I don't think it really covered anything in a super new way. It didn't do anything in a bad way. It has a really good heart and message to it, but it wasn't one that I was like, holy crap, this is my new favorite of all time. So glad I read it. Again, an audiobook listen, and this was an Owl Crate book, and Grim Lovelies was a LitJoy crate book, so they were backlist that I really wanted to get to from book boxes, and I have now. I'm glad I didn't unhaul this. This was one that I was going to unhaul for a really long time. I'm glad I gave it a chance and read it. So we do have a signed book. It is exclusive to Owl Crate. Just say Breathe Fire on the book. This is one that I'm torn on. I don't know if this series continues. I don't think I would continue it, but I didn't hate this one. I think of the 2 Grim Lovelies and this one, I did really like this one more. I'm still debating whether or not I need to keep this one on my shelf. Then I went ahead and wrapped up a DNF, which I put this one aside in January. I soft DNF'd this in January because I just wasn't feeling it. And then I re-picked it back up in February just to finish off, because I think I only had maybe 100 pages left of this when I put it down before. I was able to wrap this one up, and unfortunately I didn't love it. I think that the first one worked on its own. I do still love Melissa Albert's Dark Fairy Tales, and I am interested in the collection of the Dark Fairy Tales. I didn't hate this book. I don't know if I gave it 3 or if I gave it 2. It wasn't high, but I didn't hate it. It just wasn't what I wanted it to be compared to the Hazelwood, which I really enjoyed. But the Hazelwood is very hit or miss too, so maybe if you hated the Hazelwood, you'd enjoy this one. If you enjoyed the Hazelwood, maybe not this one as much. We do get more Dark Fairy Tales, but just not in a way that really did it for me. So it was a bit of a miss for me, and I'm excited to see what else she has coming next. Aside from the Dark Fairy Tale bind up, I think that she could do a lot with her writing and a lot with her world buildings. I gave Grim Lovelies 3 stars. I gave The Night Country 3 stars, and I gave Sky in the Deep 4 stars. All right. And then I had another 4-star read, and that is Docile by K.M. Spara. K.M. Spara. Docile is one that I knew was going to be a tougher read. This one is a dystopian sci-fi. This is about a world in which people have acquired debt or familial debt, and then to pay off that debt, they go into servitude. Your debt can be bought out by people, and then you serve a term based on your contract for however long to pay off the debt that your family has, or otherwise you go to like a debtor's prison. And when you serve as a docile, you are offered docilin, which is a drug that this giant corporation makes that basically just puts you into like a catatonic zombie state where you're very accommodating, you don't remember anything, you serve out your term, and you're able to kind of deal with your position a little bit better because you're numb to everything. And then when you leave there, the medicine wears out of your system, you don't remember anything that happened, and you go about your life and everything's honky-dory. Except when you're in this like zombie-like vogue state, you can't consent to anything. So you sign these papers beforehand that you know what you're getting into and what's going to happen to you. A lot of them end up being used for sex. A lot of them end up being used for their master's like pleasure. They're used as slaves. It's a messed up system, but it's one that everybody just kind of accepts. I have tabs and thoughts. I actually started to use in this one that clear tab, like clear post-it note annotation system. So I have a whole bunch of annotations that are on post-it notes in case I didn't want to keep this book. I could then take them out and be able to give it to somebody without having writing in it. We follow Elijah in this, and he ends up having to pay off, I think, $3 million worth of his familial debt, his mom's and his dad's. And he gets purchased by Alex, who is the son and heir to the docilin empire, which is the empire that makes this drug, that makes this whole servitude humane for the servants. Except something has gone wrong with Elisha's mother, who has come back, and she's also been a docile at one point. And the docilin has not worn out of her system, and she is in this like zombie-like state where like she just does everything that she's asked, and she aims to please, and she's not really there. There's no personality. She's basically like a robot. He knows going in, he's going to refuse the medication. Whatever happens in his life of servitude, he's going to be aware of. He does not want this medicine. Alex isn't stoked about that, but it's within Elisha's right to say he doesn't want it. So then Alex kind of goes about breaking Elisha so that he becomes almost like a docile would be if they were on the drug, so that he's compliant, so that he behaves properly, because he needs to bring his slave to these social functions, and he needs to behave in a way that doesn't embarrass Alex, because a lot is riding on him with the company, with his promotion through the company, and the way that he's seen socially. He needs his slave to behave a certain way, and if he's not going to take the medicine, he's going to make sure that he is programmed in a way that he will behave appropriately. This is pitched as 50 Shades of Grey. If 50 Shades of Grey was being honest with itself and really took it there, there is a lot of consent issues. There is a lot of BDSM. There is a lot of slave and master situations in this book. There is a lot of like forced sexual encounters. There is a lot of questionable morality and decisions. A lot of that is also addressed towards the end of the novel. We do finally see a little bit of accountability for characters towards the end, and a lot of what you kind of have to sit through is addressed somewhat, but it's not addressed enough. There's a lot of unresolved issues in this book. There's a lot that arises within this novel that I question and that I don't think was done well enough. It is not without flaws. I gave this 4 stars because I truly enjoyed the reading process. This is a chunky book. I read it very fast. This was broken down for a buddy read with Chelsea Palmer and Amber, and I read it days ahead of time because it was just so compelling. But there's issues in this book that are not handled well, and I can't discuss them without having it be spoilery. I will say there are trigger warnings in this for a lot of flippin' stuff. Death of a parent, suicide attempts, sexual abuse, sexual assault, torture, lack of consent in general life, brainwashing and psychological torture, emotional manipulation, drugging without consent. so much stuff. It's not an easy read. It's really difficult to read at times. I was angry. I was so angry. And there are a couple of specific situations where people's actions they're not held accountable for them. There is a situation in this that results in severe PTSD and recurring nightmares and waking up in cold sweats. The people responsible for that are never really held accountable for it. But I can see what the author was trying to do with it. And I do think that it's going to raise a lot of discussions. I do think it's going to be one that people really like because it's dark. And it's one of those like taboo kind of situations where everybody wants to know what they think about it too. And it's written in a way that is compelling, but it's also really not perfect. Use a ton of caution if you're going into this book. It is not an easy read, but it is a really good one. And I did enjoy it. I had to get those bad boys out of the way so I could get into all my contemporary reads. I'm going to go read those contemporary reads right now, but I wanted to update you on my February reading so far. That is it for now. I'll see you in the next clip. Oh, hi friends. It is me on Saturday morning at like 9:30, and I'm about to head to work for a little bit. I actually have to work this weekend, but I wanted to update you on my February reading because I finished a book post-ContemporaryAthon, which has not happened in a hot minute because I DNF'd a book. I started a reading vlog, so there's some things that I can't put into this that I've been reading that you don't know about. It doesn't look too impressive, but I promise you I'm reading. I finished If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. I love this cover, first of all, and I gave this 4 stars, and I wasn't expecting to. I'm sorry, I've not like spoken out loud this morning, and my throat is, my voice is doing things. It is very Shakespeare based, and I am not a huge Shakespeare fan at all, but I do like the way that they wove Shakespeare into a modern story and used lines from his plays to accentuate what they were going through. That kind of made sense to me, and it made the works a little bit more relatable because like I'm not a fan. Midsummer's Night, I think I liked because it was Faye, and then other than that, not really, no thank you. This one follows a group of friends that are all at a school, like a fine arts school, and they're all pursuing acting, but specifically only Shakespeare. They only like act out any of Shakespeare's plays. A lot of the time they're really only reading Shakespeare's works. They're pretty engrossed in Shakespeare. And so they start to pretty much live these characters' lives and kind of stay in character almost all the time, where their emotions are kind of really at bubbling points. And whether that's lust and love or hatred and jealousy, they're all kind of right there. And then one of their group ends up dead, and we don't know who did it, and that's kind of what this story is about. And it's about love and betrayal and lust and jealousy, and it's a whole wild ride. I listened to the audiobook. The audiobook really worked for me. I don't know if I would have loved this the same if I hadn't read it in audiobook. Like, I really enjoyed it. And again, I'm in that thriller murder mystery. Like, that's kind of all I want to read right now. So it's also what I'm in the middle of reading just in general, is kind of all of that genre of book. I'm here for it. So I really enjoyed it. It's not a 5-star read, I think probably because of some of the like Shakespearean things. And then also just the way some issues were glossed over. There was like a whole storyline with Alexander that I feel like we never really got resolution on. And there was a whole character of Philippa who I feel like went really underdeveloped. And then others that we got like a whole bunch of screen time with, but like Ren, Philippa, and Alexander we don't see as much of. And I wish we had, because I found them very intriguing characters and we just don't know a ton about them. So 4-star read, and that's the only thing that I've finished post-ContemporaryAthon that I can talk to you guys about. But I am in the middle of a book on craft. I'm in the middle of some arcs. I just haven't finished a ton of things. So I'm going to go put my other shirt on. I'm going to go to work, come back, read a little bit more, vlog a little bit more for my other vlogs. Hi friends, it's Julie, and I'm here with the end of my February reading vlog. I don't think I'm going to finish anything else in the month because I've got a very, very busy couple of days coming up. And today is the 27th. I know we get an extra day this month, but I just don't see another book getting finished. If that changes, I will update you, but as of right now, this is everything that I've read in February. Two things to go over. One that will be in my reading my thriller arcs vlog, but I did finish Harlan Coben's The Boy from the Woods, which I annotated and tabbed and have thoughts on. I'm going to save my rating and my thoughts on this for my reading vlog because I've already filmed them. So you're going to have to wait until all of my thoughts are there. But I don't think that my vlog for that will be out before the 17th of March, which is when this book publishes. So my general consensus is it's a 3-star read. It does have political leanings, which I don't love, but if you're into Harlan Coben's writing and you're down with like political thrillers, then this might be for you. I didn't love it as much as I wanted to. I'm also adding in Creating Character Arcs. This one is by K.M. Whelan. This is one that I'm reading just to get better at writing, and I only have a tiny little bit of pages left here. I'll be done that really quickly. I actually plan on finishing it before I go to work today, so that one will be done. It's not done right now. If you are looking for books on writing, I don't think this is the one for you if you've read and loved Save the Cat. This is Save the Cat for character arcs, but a lot of character arcs are built into the plot arcs of Save the Cat, and Save the Cat does go over like character motivations throughout different plot points. I don't think it's wholly necessary. There is some little tidbits of information in here, but I'm probably going to end up condensing it into a post-it that I just add into the sections of Save the Cat. Maybe go ahead and pass on that one. I don't think it's worth it if you're a Save the Cat person and you already kind of know that story arc. Then we have Hello Girls by Emily Henry and Brittany Cavallero. Yep. I really enjoyed this. I actually listened to the audiobook of it, but it is a book of the month book that I've had for forever, and I'm really glad I finally listened to it. I super enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. I didn't love it, but we do follow 2 friends, very troubled childhoods and relationships with their parents and siblings. It is a YA Thelma and Louise kind of a situation. They both want to just get away. One from an abusive father, one from a drug dealing brother who's just sucking all of her money and life kind of out of her. And they form a friendship and they start to rely on one another and they want to escape. And so one night they go ahead and they do that. And it follows them on this journey. We even have like a very Brad Pitty kind of a character that kind of shows up in this. It's interesting. It was fun. The audiobook was really quick. I'm not mad at it. It was really good. And I think would probably be, I mean, it's hard hitting, but it would probably be like a fun summer read, like a road trip read. It would actually be really cool. So let's go over all of my stats for the month, because I also have built into this month my ContemporaryAthon reading vlog and my ContemporaryAthon reading. So if you look at all of the books that I read for ContemporaryAthon, plus all of the books that I read this month outside of that, I've read 19 books, 5,761 pages. This is not counting my secret TBR that is coming out in March of all of my Kindle Unlimited stuff. 19 ebooks for Kindle Unlimited. ContemporaryAthon was by far and away some of the highest rated books of the year. The rest was a little bit iffy. So Grim Lovelies I gave 3 stars to. It was a fine audiobook. Docile got 4 stars. Sky in the Deep got 3 stars. My Grandmother Asked Me to Tell You She's Sorry got 5. 8 Perfect Murders got 5. Solitaire got 4. Be Not Far From Me got 5. A Man Called Uwe got 5. You Brought Me the Ocean got 4. Primer got 5. Heavy Vinyl got 5. Darling Rose Gold got 3. That was all kind of ContemporaryAthon week. Oh, Darius the Great Is Not Okay also got 5. That was all ContemporaryAthon week. I DNF'd a thriller, which I will talk about in my thriller vlog. I'm not going to mention it here because I didn't finish it. If We Were Villains, which I gave 4 stars. I believe I've already talked about that one as well. And The Boy from the Woods got 3 stars. Hello Girls, I am giving 4 stars. And Creating Character Arcs, I'll give 3 stars. It's fine. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's anything outstanding, but there's nothing inherently wrong with it. That was everything for February. Again, I always read a lot for ContemporaryAthon. That week by far and away was like one of the best reading weeks, always tends to be. Grim Lovelies was audio, Docile was physical, Sky in the Deep was audio, my grandmother asked me to tell you she's sorry was audio, 8 Perfect Murders was physical, Solitaire was audio, Be Not Far From Me was physical, it's because it's an arc. A Man Called Uwe was audio. And then You Brought Me the Ocean, Primer, Heavy Vinyl were all graphic novels. Those are all physical. Darling Rose Gold is an arc, so that was physical. Darius Agreed Is Not Okay was audio. In the role of Brie Hutchins, I DNF'd. I DNF'd another thriller. Those were both physical arcs. If We Were Villains is an audiobook, even though I own it. The Boy from the Woods was physical read. Arc, creating character arcs is a physical read, and Hello Girls was an audiobook read. But that is my entire month. Not a bad one. That has been my February reading. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you are interested in the titles that I mentioned during my ContemporaryAthon reads, I'll try to link my vlog somewhere. And then if you're interested in more of my thoughts about my DNF of my thriller or Harlan Coben's book, stay tuned for my thriller arc reading vlog, which will hopefully be coming out soon. That's everything. If you enjoyed this video, and I hope you did, go ahead and give me a big thumbs up. Click subscribe, and I'll see all of you in my next video. Bye, guys.